What is going on? I'm Zedmont. I have no plan for this video except to check my creator boost in every single Supercell game. Otherwise, we're just gonna do some warship stuff, probably show you 3 different tech levels. As you can see, jumped all the way up into 22 on this account, sitting down there, top 8, but over 60% win rate. That is a big deal. Let's check that out. 211 battles on the season. Let's check out, let's say, Alex Shu, for example. What are you at? 436. Wow, double the battles. Still, gotta say though, lots and lots of great win percentages this season. Holy crow. Now, this one, I'm still struggling for what the heck I'm gonna do next. As you can see, don't have bombardiers. That means that it's all about seekers. Also don't have barrage. Do have bullet. Now, also don't have that GBE node. So, yes, you can use seekers without a GBE node. Yes, you can use seekers without bullet as well, but I showed you guys that in the past. Now I'm gonna show you what I've been doing with bullet. And as you can see, it's a pretty good log. I will try to show you 5 engine room bases because 4 engine room bases are not super interesting at this point. I assume this is a 4. Yes, it is. I showed you guys how to beat 4s already. I'm sure you know how to do that by now. If not, do hit me up in the comments. Do check the other videos that have been linked. You can tell as soon as I'm above 3 minutes, it's guaranteed to be a 4 engine room base. By the way, shout out to Boss. Boss had a good time against me. A good time is about 230, generally speaking, against a 4 or 5 engine room base. I am above, there we go. Maybe this is a 5. Let's just have a look here. 1, 2, there we go. So here's my first 5. Bring in again those sacrificial lambs in that left-hand side. Then Bullit is gonna come in and taunt some things, and then as he walks by at the last possible second, we're gonna taunt that stuff, which is gonna get those right-hand side seekers some things to do. And I don't know the distances between any of these things. That is why I dropped that first boat on the left, just in case these guys on the right were gonna go towards that left-hand side. Also, just getting 1 more boat of seekers and then 2 more boats of seekers and then more boats on this left-hand side. So all of those seekers on that right-hand side going towards the back, these ones on the left going towards this one. And then after Bullit has done his bit, getting him moving towards that left middle back section. Lots of things happening here, and then as you can see there, we have fizzled on that front section, but that's not the end of the world because we've got Bullit and his taunt, and so all of our seekers are just gonna cruise on through, and then 1 final shock, and just, I was gonna say just barely enough seekers to take that engine room down, but let's be honest, we have like 3 boats worth there, so it's a little bit hairy at times because you have seekers going in multiple directions and you're trying to keep lots of them alive. Not something that I'm super duper strong at, as you can tell by 254, 244, 255. Not super fast times, but fast enough that is all you need. So again, that right-hand side, clearing that. This left-hand side, bringing Bullit in, clearing out some shock mines, and then sending Bullit into harm's way. That is Bullit's job, sending him into harm's way, clearing all sorts of shock mines. Now, if I had more GBE or I had barrage, this would be easier, obviously, but I don't have those luxuries. And then bringing in more on this left-hand side, trying to get them to go north of the gap as opposed to south of the gap is my number 1 concern. And then Bullit taunting things. Again, these ones down by Bullit died faster than I would have liked. Not ideal, but Bullit's taunt definitely helpful. And then as Bullit becomes not as useful, we get his flare out. There is a shock mine back there that I can do nothing about. Artillery would be super useful. Trying to throw smoke on top of shock mines is my #1 goal. And then we've got enough troops here that are slowly chipping away at that final engine room that even without those reinforcements would have gotten it down, but it's not pretty, friends, and I can't give you this perfect solution to beat every single base. But just know that you only have to be faster than 230. So again, Bullit and Taunt, that shock mine right there is not a huge concern. I wanted to get Bullit to go through that boom mine and through those 4 mines, just trying to clear as many mines as I can. That's why that flare was a little bit wonky looking. And then again, you can clear a widely placed shock mines using critters on a hot pot that has not popped yet. That is a little bit important. And then just getting the rest of our seekers. We are now at 8 boats. We've got 6 boats right about there. That shock mine doing a bit of damage. That's why I had to throw 1 more shock. And then after you get your shock out, sending Bullit, even if he just clears a shock mine, it can be very, very, very useful. And then critters, yet again, you don't need barrage to clear engine rooms and to clear mines and things, but it would be very, very helpful. And it keeps clawing at me this season because the paths are so long. You're gonna get tempted by many, many, many things. So that is why I'm sitting right where I am. I mean, by the way, if you're looking for an alternative path that is not down this crazy long path to heavy choppas, you can use mechs with bombardiers, and then you can go backwards and get critter launchers, which should be a bit of a game changer, get that troop damage. So I know a lot of people are going towards seekers, a lot of people are going towards heavy choppas. There is another path towards mechs that not a lot of people are doing. It's worth a shot if you're looking for something a little bit different. Not gonna do any live attacks here simply because I gotta get to a better spot for that. Now, speaking of accounts that are going towards the heavy choppas, sorry, wrong account. This account is mine that is going towards the heavy choppas. Almost, kind of, almost there. Heavy choppas are still out of reach. What I did to make up for that is I went back and maxed my riflemen. I was using heavies with bombardiers. Went back and maxed my rifleman. I think it's a little bit faster, a little bit better. We'll do some live attacks over here. Again, my goal is 231. Most people are getting like 220 to 230, so if you aim for 231, you should win more often than not. I am in 18, as you saw there. We are gonna go something like this. What I've been doing is getting my bombardiers out here, and then we're going to drop them up into this neighborhood, bringing Kevin Cavan. What I want to do at first is clear as many of that mortar as possible, and then we're just going to flare up into here, getting some critters out, getting Cavan to chase some things, and then once they've gone over to that side, into that neighborhood, more critters, maybe a second wind or two. And then as soon as that flare starts to expire, we're going to go something like this. Those riflemen getting out front and then just walking through from this side. So we've got a decent split. We're attacking this base from 3 different directions, which should be fairly strong. All we need to do is keep an eye out on those boom cannons, making sure they're not taking out our bombardiers like about now. And then dropping our critters. These attacks are so much more simple. Yes, we're attacking from every single possible direction of the compass, but it's just more simple. I don't know how to describe that. I think just because Seekers, you don't have as much control, I feel like I'm in way, way, way more control when it comes to these guys. And so that, we're at 241. It's going to be very darn close. We're probably going to be at, come on, need to get that next flare out right about now. 230. 229, it ticked over. So within 2 seconds of my goal, that could be problematic though. Against Predator, what do you got for us? Alien versus Predator, Zedmont versus Predator. And they've done the smart... Okay, we picked up the win barely. Like I said, 230 is so touch and go. They are at 224. Is there a Grenadier mixed in there? Yeah, there was. Interesting. So we're moving upwards. You can probably get into 19 using rifle Bombardier. It's not super duper sexy, not like those yellow school buses that everyone loves, but there is some goodness here. And if you're using heavies, I feel like that would have been more like a 215 time by me. Rifles do a little bit of damage, there are more of them to get shot in the face, and with critters you can clear all the mines you need to worry about. Oof. What do you got going on here, buddy? So, okay, I don't think I'm overly concerned about this base. I don't think. We'll get 2 over there just because that should be worthwhile. Then we're going to go something over here. We are definitely 1000% going to hold off on Kavan for the moment because that SEMO could be problematic. We will soon find out once our troops get in there. And again, speaking of mines, need to clear all of these mines. We're going to get some critters on that dude back there. Those critters also should help us clear some mines as we get Kavan out here. Now, I think we might have lost some bombardiers, so that second wind right there could be extra helpful. We'll find out here in the next little bit. Now, see those critters we talked about? Yeah, they're going to come in, clear as many mines as they can, going to be super duper helpful. I am not a big fan of using critters for this back engine room. There is just so much going on there that I don't think it's a great strategy. So instead, we're going to wait right about now. And then as soon as that final engine room starts to go down, we're just going to throw that kamikaze flare onto that engine room. And at this point, we should be all good to take that down and be even faster. So, is it going to be pretty? Again, no, we just needed to be aware of where troops were going to path. I'm pretty happy with that. 239 is a decent time. We're going to get beat by many 5-engine room players, because as soon as we start getting into players with heavy choppas, we're going to be in trouble. But at the moment, players who have heavy choppas are at like the 20 rank or so. Like I said, see, 230. We got 239. All we needed was 231. One step closer, way over here. We're going to get that hot pot. Everyone and their uncle has that hot pot. Not quite sure where we need to place it. I feel like I haven't seen people with a hot pot and a flotsam. That is, I think we're just going to place you back here. That's the most logical place for you, Mr. Hotpot. Gonna make all of that shocking a little bit more useful. We're winning. I mean, so far, all of the wins, all of the time. That Hotpot might get us to 19. It'll be very interesting, but we're gonna move on to a third tech tree. And when it comes to sexy tech trees, this is the exact opposite of that. This is my account that I do not have instant training on, that I do not attack on, that I just basically fill my time with when I want to get some intel for my task force. And that task force, of course, is Kindergarten 9. Yes, we're full. Yes, we will make room for you. I preach this more than anyone out there on the internets. In a 50-member task force, you need to kick people. It is super important. The fact that Mishi only has 9 intel, that's a bit of a warning sign. Minor Bloxer only has 3. Let's see when Minor Bloxer joined. 16 hours ago, that's not bad. We'll leave them for the moment. But if you're looking to join one of our task forces, Discord is the best bet. YouTube comments is second best. Hit me up if you want a spot. I will make room for you somewhere. Or we have room for you somewhere. Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to kick someone. This, like I said, not sexy. Heavy Zuka Gren is how I've been attacking on this account. Without instant training, it's great because you're using 3 different troops, which means you're not using your troops as quickly. And so we are going to go left on this puppy. We're going to bring our heavies out first, then our Zukas, then our Grens, and then Miss Brick. We're going to save some heavies for a little bit later. You can see something shining through there. I think it's probably a shock mine would be my guess. Should be able to clear that. We don't have shocks. All we have is... There we go. See, I told you it was coming. And at this point, I am using Brick's battle orders because I can't stand waiting for things, and that is why we're using battle orders. Yes, Iron Will would probably be better, but I just want to walk through all of the things using... Grenadiers are clearing all the mines, Brick and Zookas are doing a little bit extra damage, and I find that that becomes very, very useful when you start to get close to things like boom cannons. Having those Zookas available just makes things go a little bit more smoothly. Brick doesn't get shot in the face quite as quickly, and I just unlocked medkits. I had not been using them until now. That's why I've been using way too many critters. You can just walk through these bases though. People are fizzling on my base. I just need to fizzle a little bit less than they're fizzling. And you can collect in the iron tier fairly easily. Is it super duper fun? Not really, but it's great for intel for your task force, and I'm finding it as an interesting challenge as a way to play Boom Beach ever so slightly differently, which doesn't hurt as well. I know it kind of sucks that we're forced to make additional ways to play, but I enjoy finding new ways to play Boom Beach. The daily events are not fun. I don't find any fun in them, so I essentially make my own daily events by doing silly things across multiple accounts. If you don't have a second account yet, I would highly recommend making one. It definitely makes Boom Beach more interesting, more fun, and I just highly recommend it. Being able to do 2 different tech trees in a season, for example, is hugely advantageous. One other YouTuber went so far as to call it cheating. I don't agree. There is nothing saying you can't try 2 different tech trees. I find it gives me the opportunity to show you guys a couple different ways to attack, couple different strategies, and I think that's beneficial for you guys, and I would love to hear if you guys agree or disagree. We're gonna flare up close. I force quit a lot. I said early on that we need to bring 3 times mode to warships, and a couple people said that would never work. The timer is the timer. It would speed things up. Obviously, if they were spectating, there would need to be some form of method where their spectating would go into 3 times mode as well, because that would be really awkward if it didn't. But 3 times mode for bases like these would be very helpful. We are just gonna go with more Grens on this base. I pick and choose based on how people lay their bases out. On this one, for example, more Grens just means that we're gonna get more firepower over those initial machine guns. Should be able to get all of the things down. Need to throw a medkit out there, of course, though, because our troops do bunch up because they are idiots. That is a well-known fact when it comes to every single troop in Boom Beach, especially in warships, when it comes to Grens doing silly things. And then just slowly pounding this base out. Like I said, there is a lot of different ways to attack in Boom Beach, and this one, not the most interesting at all, but just the fact that we should be able to just pound through this base using Grenadiers. Grenadiers are a great troop that don't get nearly the amount of love that they should. The fact that they're clearing all of the mines for us is hugely beneficial, and not having to worry about mines on a season with so darn many, like, what's that one choice note has like 12 mines in it or something ridiculous, and now all of our Zookas are gonna be just shot in the face. At this point, that is their only job, is to get shot in the face. Our Grenadiers would get completely and utterly eaten up, but instead our Zookas are essentially acting as critters. Yes, doing a little bit of damage, but more importantly, they are just getting shot in the face, and that is super duper important for them. We need a med kit here, otherwise we're going to lose way more Zookas than we want to. If they can get rid of that machine gun, even all the better. Let's back off over to here. Don't want to deal with those sniper towers quite yet. Whew, so 3 different tech trees. Would be very curious to hear where you guys are, which tech tree you find to be the most entertaining, and which tech tree you find to be the most useful, because I would be very surprised if those are the exact same thing. I think the most entertaining is Seekers. I think the most useful is the Bombardier one, though, because I feel like everyone's using Bombardiers. Like, I would love to see some stats at the end of the season that show how many people use each troop. I think that over 90% of people will have unlocked Bombardiers this season. Again, would love to hear your thoughts on that, if you think that's correct or incorrect. Either way, there is a lot going on this season. I think this season's tech tree is the most interesting tech tree we've had as we full on fizzle. Oh, maybe not quite yet. Now, there are times in Boom Beach where you get extremely lucky and your Grenadiers can outrange sniper towers. It is not something you can plan. It has to be at like exactly 33.46 degrees. I don't know how to tell you otherwise. It's just one of those lucky things where your Grens will outrange sniper towers. You can't bank on it, but I'm going to take this extra couple percent because maybe that's going to be the difference between a win and a loss. As I paused there, sorry, they got the engine room down just now, and just a reminder that percentage-wise, you don't have to destroy buildings. Even doing that one grenade landing does add to the percentage damage. So yes, I probably should have retreated, but that final engine room only went down in that last second or so. Now, I'm not gonna do any more attacks on this one. We'll try and find an operation attack. Maybe, just maybe, we can do a super low level, but no, of course, the task force has crushed Curtain Call in only 14 attacks. Now, if you're thinking, hey, I don't want to join Kinder 9, 14 attacks for Curtain Call is too scary, you just need to do something. Like, I'll show you my attack here. Did I do something? Yes, I did. So here is what I did as a super duper low level. For those of you who have never attacked strange attractors, generally you get in this neighborhood back here and burn the core. I'll show you what I did. We threw a flare at 4 times mode, got wrapped around that mortar. As you can see by that mortar, we are in the blind spot, taking out that shore mortar, maybe saving someone a couple smokes, and then bringing our 4 boats up into the fray. And the number one thing we need to get rid of is that shock launcher, which we did a little bit of extra damage around the core, but saved some GBE for someone at shore because that mortar is gone, and cleared a blind spot behind the core because that shock launcher no longer reaches. So don't need to be a high level player to play high level ops. It definitely helps, but with a 50-member task force, there's enough room for people to do things like clearing mines, setting up defenses, saving gunboat energy for people. Super useful. And whenever I see people that say I couldn't attack, I had the wrong troops, or I didn't attack because I couldn't find anything to do, that's just a cop-out. Get out there, help your task force. Why be in a task force if you're not going to attack the op? That is all for me. I am Zedmont. Thank you for coming in. Hopefully this melange of tech trees was somehow helpful. This trio of tech trees, alliteration for the win. Anyways, same Zed time, same Zed channel. Throw code ZedMod in your shop. Like, share, subscribe, comment, click the bell, all those things. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for coming in. I'm Anon Moose, also known as ZedMod. Peace.